Hey, what's up? Like, I can't help but notice my growth. And I want to show you. I'll probably be back later. Of course I will be back later, but I'm still busy with this hair. And y'all isn't well, my hair, it's growing. My hair, it's growing. My hair, it's growing. My hair, it's due for a trim though. And since I didn't trim all the other hair at the back, I'm not gonna trim it this time, only next time. But it's growing. This is actually two different braids, cause I had to unravel two braids, and due to the fact that, the one bunch of hair was tangled into the other, so I had to unravel both of them. But look at my hair, y'all. Look. Hey. Due for a trim, we shall admit, but hey, I need to trim my ends. You see that? Like that needs to go. That over there needs to go, but I'll do it next time. Cause next time I'll know that I'm due for a trim. Like this time around I didn't know. So yeah, I already did some hair first, but yo, I'm feeling so proud. I'm feeling so proud of what's going on. And please don't look at my white car sunscreen and start to mock a sister. That's just what happens when I apply moisture on the face. It just gets all dingy looking. My hair is growing, it's showing flames, it's growing, and we are glad for it. Anyway, bye, later. Hello there, in the name of Christ, how you doing? It's your girl Karabo. Karabo. I hope you're good, I hope you're peachy, I hope you're stellar, and I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not stellar, neat, or peachy, or bunched up, or whatever, welcome to the party, because that's just the story of my life. So I guess we're in it together. Misery loves company. It is the 13th of May 2024, but it's actually the 12th because I'm coming in over hopping into the next day because it's the wee hours of the morning, because that's just what we do. It's already that wee, it's not long after midnight, so let me just correct my statement over there. Let me just put some caveats out there. Kindly look out for my captions, they're not always accurate. They sometimes use a small g for God. They are sometimes misspelled, they sometimes are the wrong word altogether, stuff like that. I don't have time or energy, neither incentive to adjust them because I'm presently not being viewed by very many people, which is what it is that I'm actually going to talk about today. So for those reasons, I just kind of leave them like that. I like them, I think they're cute, and these days I'm even innovative with the colors that I use therein. But that's as much as I'm doing, really. I'm not actually going to be looking at them to see what's in there, so please don't imagine me grammatically nonsensical. It's not me, it's CapCut. But it's an excellent app otherwise. Largely accurate for the better majority of the time, but sometimes just not so kosher. What is with the animal? No matter, Queen Cat, why are you doing this to me? Oh, 1 second. Every time my cat hears my voice, she wants to come inside. But it is nighttime too, so it's okay really. And I just didn't want to be distracted, especially not in the middle of my introduction, but let's just move on. Second to that is my makeup. I'm very potentially wearing app makeup. If I am, you'll know. If I'm not, you'll also know. It bounces off my face, it removes it, just does things. It's not real, it's an app. Yeah, that's what's good. So I'm not shape-shifting, do not worry. I am not demon possessed. Alrighty, and then thirdly, I have a segment. It's an empathy segment. Essentially, I'm trying to squeeze empathy out of people to show them that, guess what, I'm human, you know? I've got vital functions in my body, heartbeats, pulses and stuff like that. I've got body functions, I eat and stuff. I burp sometimes, because I'm human. Flatulence, yes, I sometimes fart. And basically I'm a person. If you roll me over with a steamroller, I will probably pass away. I won't live like a cartoon with a star on my head. Stars just going around in rings in my head. I'm gonna just die, okay? So please stop hurting me. Stop breathing down my neck with human sacrifice rituals. That would be really great. Yeah, and in order to achieve that, I display it with my cheeks. I don't really, some days it works, some days it doesn't, and given that I'm wearing a pink vest underneath my skipper, the pink vest might just, reflect off it camouflage vibes and just refuse to bring out my blush. But that's what I'm trying to do, to show you that I've got human functions in my body. So don't hurt me. Anyway, yeah, moving on. I don't know if it achieved. If it didn't, tomorrow's another day. It's that basic, okay? I do it every day. Yeah. Oh, guys, look. My hair. Oh, goodness. It's Sunday, okay? Or rather, it's Monday now, but it's actually Sunday, like, because, you know, I'm in Sunday mode. And, today's the last day of my chill. Like, I rest on weekends, but I'm done resting. And I'm not done with my hair. It's just so upsetting, but it's alright. I've done enough of it. I've redone enough of my mini braids for me to feel somewhat impressed that we're gonna get there. I'm gonna do, like, during this week I was doing like 2 a day, 3 a day, and yeah, that was not enough. Okay, so like this thing will have taken me 2 weeks by the time I'm done, but I guess it is worth it, is it not? Let me show you the most recent ones that I did. This is one that I did today. Sorry, I have to be by the purple pillow to give you some kind of an indication of the growth of my hair. I have to be within the frame of the camera too. Yeah, it's one of the ones I did today. Okay, this is where my braid ends, even though you can't really see it with the background. That's what's good, that's what's good. Yes, 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 yes. Hair is growing. It is showing people flames. Here's another one that I did today. I'm just showing you progress, progress. I'm just showing you flames. I'm just showing you dust. It is showing dust. But I need to basically just dust it too. Because I need to like... Oh, did I abandon a braid here? I hope there's not one that has not been done. Because, slack it. But slack, I'm working hard here, okay? Really hard. That's another one that I did today. I just wanted to show you my hair growth, y'all. Like, it's growing. It's all mine. My hair's growing in poverty. Poverty. Ah, goodness, but the hair's growing. So can you imagine what else is growing in poverty? Grace. Can you imagine what else is growing in poverty? And then long suffering? Answered prayer. Like, it's brewing in an oven. Like a baby. Grace! Anyway, let me just put these in the bunny again, the ones that I've done, so as to not lose sight of my bearings. It's unlikely that I would lose sight of my bearings because it takes a minute for hair to grow out as much as like 3 months worth of growth, so there's no way that I'd be confused about unraveling one. Plus the newer ones are a lot neater, so but still, it's nice to have them out the way. So let's just move them out the way. I just wanted to show you my progress. We tend to start doing boring things. Not boring, I mean, nothing I do is boring. Ugh, okay. We tend to first start doing irrelevant things. Please, my hair's not irrelevant. I lost my hair as a part of my testimony. I had a beautiful afro once upon a time, and I lost it because I didn't know how to take care of my hair, and I didn't have money to go to a stylist because I was broke. I just lost a job, so me growing my hair is actually part of my testimony, okay? But it's not the deepest part, so let's just get into deep stuff now. Listen, guys, this cannot continue. It's an absolute emergency. Like, people, like, as in sirens and everything are going off. Alarm bells, like, calls to the ambulance. Paramedics out here doing CPR on air. And nothing's coming alive. Like, this, it's an epidemic. This zombie apocalypse, silent treatment stuff of zombies. Like, how long do you think this is gonna last exactly? Anyway, and I speak like this because I am aware that largely my audience is full of rebellious sons of Beelzebub, and they are making effortful, feverish missions, embarking on them to make sure that nobody ever listens to me. That's all I gotta say. People are in danger. You know, people are in danger, and that's what I was told about yesterday. Like, all this danger makes me feel like, ooh, danger. Danger hafarangozi. When I'm doing my hair, it smells like salt and vinegar chips. I don't know why that just came to me. Salt and vinegar chips, you know why? I'll tell you why. Because I use apple cider vinegar to remove the product buildup, and it smells like salt and vinegar chips. But then the smell is not there anymore. I just thought about it because I think I'm craving salt and vinegar chips. But it's okay. They're not even my favorite anyway, so if I can't have them, it's all good in the hood. But that's just the problem. The fact that I can't just crave some salt and vinegar chips, get in my car, drive to the garage and buy them, it's an issue. It's an issue. Big one. For 10 years, like a whole decade, can't buy. Sour cream and chives, sweet sour onion chutney, fruit. Beacon bites. When last the beacon bites? A big arriba mararazo maranana renzaretse. Amamara mane marabita maretse. In Mexico, basketball. She's not big. In Mexico, the Mexican wave. She's not big. But when lies a beacon bite, a bit, remember that ad? I'm sorry, we need to start with an icebreaker sometimes. I just got so hot, like this electric blanket is now boiling me because I just did the riba retse. Alrighty, so that's an advert in South Africa. There's this like snack crisps chips called Beacon Bites, and they're Mexican. And there was an advert back in the day promoting them that basically said, in Mexico, basketball, she's not big. In Mexico, the Mexican wave, she's not big. But when lies a Beacon Bite, those were the days. I'm hot now. Oh goodness, no, why did I have to do that? It's problematic that I can't go and buy myself La Beacon Bites. You know which ones I liked? I liked the La Original. Which ones were the La Original? The orange packet or the red one? I liked the orange packet. The orange one was not original, eh? La Beacon Bite. What is it? Barbecue. I like barbecue. Just the fact that I can't go to like the engine garage and just buy La Beacon Bite. Hey guys, you know I had problems. Like, when was the last time I had Beacon Bites? I have problems. Y'all, can we just have a conversation? Okay, I'm gonna talk about my favorite things when I was on the come up, just basically in life generally. And I just find it like it's an abomination and a travesty from here to like 20 million years ahead, into infinity, into eternity, that I have never done. Somebody give me, you know, like, yo, somebody give me something to, like, no, y'all need to stop, like, which is, it's issuesome. It's problematic. Like, I have a problem with the fact that you take away Beacon Bites from people. I've had things in my life that I've loved, you know what I'm saying? Like, adored them. And when I started making money, like, you know, when you're a kid growing up, let's have a conversation. You know the things that people do. You know the, but when lies a Beacon Bite, arriba! I never love Beacon Bite. It took away my Beacon Bite, so everybody go take away Beacon. What the Beacon Bite ever do to you? What the Beacon Bite ever do to you? Let's have a discussion. Don't understand. What did Simba Chips ever do to you, eh? When you go just straight past in life until you can't afford one. Can't afford nothing. If it's pop, chicka chicka, don't stop. Making the things pop. Chicka chicka chicka, don't stop. Yo, guys, like in South Africa, I can't. You are slashing tires in the economy, making it pop, not flat, like proper on the side of the road after getting stuck, pounced on by cash and transit heists. But like it's just a regular car, and even then, not even an expensive one. It's got a dent on the side. Because you're so full of theft, you don't even wait for the SBV van. Nah, you be either doing a cash and transit heist on some female stuck on the side of a road, driving in 2008 Mazda 2 with a ding on the side, and then you just like Exsanguinated, like vacuum all of her money till the chick came by Beacon Bites. You robbed me. Stick 'em up. Velcro hands. Ha! Can you be such thieves? Y'all, witches, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna help you understand what you stole from me. Like, you did not just steal big things like my husband, okay? You didn't just steal my children, like my eggs and stuff, made them rot in my stomach, gave me a geriatric room. You done stolen Beacon Bites. Like, you don't understand. If you are stealing Beacon Bites, you are stealing the South African economy. Now let's just have a conversation. I told you I burp earlier, so please don't act surprised. I'm human. I showed you with my cheek pinch. Oh, we gonna have a discussion in these streets. We gonna have a big one. By the time we're done, we're gonna have like a wad of paper just full of notes from the discussion. When I was growing up, just like all of y'all, bet you can remember. You know how parents, yes, like it, but me. For those of you that don't know what that even means, mwame is a South African term in Tswana or Sotho for super miserly, like stingy. Parents were the worst, y'all. They will show you flames, do you understand? They were the worst. And it didn't matter across the board, whether it was an auntie type parent, a grandmother type parent, a biological mother type parent. They were all just very stingy, and it was so ridiculous the way they used to ration. Oh my word. Yo, kodwa. However, kodwa means but. I told you, South Africans, I'm out of your doorstep. I'm leaving. I'm not even going to use these words anymore. I'm sorry. English 100% of the time going forward. I apologize. However, when it came to the stuff that you just didn't like, they were generous. It's altruistic, out here being charitable to some children. Parents frustrated our taste buds as kids. And it's not like all of these things that we liked were expensive. Nah, they weren't. They just withheld. Like, no, parents were miserly. The elderly were miserly. Grown-ups were miserly. They were stingy. They were mwame me. Mwame me. Mwamame me mo mu. Me. They were stingy like no man's business. So they used to ration everything. Like my grandmother in Soweto, in Tladi Soweto, she used to have a little shopiki, like a spaza shop, you know, like a small to medium enterprise, like lots of such little tiny informal stores that popped up in the Kasi, in the hood, in the ghetto, all over the show, where it is that, you know, a family would make a decision that they're going to open a little spaza shop, a little small to medium enterprise. I don't know what to call a spaza shop in English, okay? A tiny little shop that runs from out of a household, right? Yeah. And they were like, they littered all over Kasi, right? All over Soweto, all over just ghettos in South Africa, perhaps Africa at large. But like, I'm coming from my vantage point of my own country. Anyway, whatever. So these plaza shops, they you know, the business owners made it like they could sell whatever they wanted to sell. Like they could sell like icicles, or they could sell little ice cream cones, or they could sell crisps, mazimba, otherwise known as crisps, or this like colored popcorn called makipikipi, or little biscuits, mafofora, like just like crushed up biscuits, okay? Little cookies. They could make a decision what they want to sell, right? Some of them were a little bit bigger than others, and so you would even get things like sugar and coffee there type thing. But sometimes largely like tiny little small to medium enterprises and households tended to be just, that's the house where you buy icicles, that's the house where you buy ice cream, that's the house where you buy colored popcorn, that's the house where you buy etc. And guys, yeah, these people were my grandmother was miserly. She had tight fists. Jenna's tight fists. Tight fists. And so too did the gentleman and his wife that lived down the house. Ooh, down the road, that house was amazing. Like you would walk past it and it would just it smelled like so, yeah, it was so beautiful. It smelled like ice cream. You just walk past it, it was like, but forget it. Like, you're not going to get any ice cream. Their rations, guys, their portions. They were smaller even than the stores. The portions were ridiculous in the way that portions in FMCGs, like whole thriving big supermarkets, weren't. They were miserly, tight-fisted, because they got to determine the rations or the portions that they would put in the little plastic bags that they would use to put makip in. That would be colored popcorn or mazimba crisps in, or even ice cream. Oh my goodness, like, whoa, the ice cream one was the one that would really get to you. Like this gentleman and his wife used to have, like, they used to sell ice cream and mayo is like this, yo, I can't be describing everything to you. It's like, it's not really frozen yogurt. It's like a frozen yogurt, but it's like a sweet delicacy, and it's like a dairy product of sorts, alright? It's just absolutely delicious. They used to sell mayos and an ice cream, so they were all about dairy in that house, and it used to smell wonderful, that house. And we, first and foremost, it was rough to get money from grandmother, mother, uncle, dad, anyone. It was rough just to get like that money to buy that ice cream. That was the first problem, right? But once you did get that little 5 bob, 50 cents, right? Yeah, slack it. But you would go to this house, and they would open, hi little kitties, you know, and they would sell us this ice cream. We would buy it. Can I please have ramen raisin? Can I please have vanilla? Can I please whatever? And we buy the ice cream. Okay, a lot of times you didn't even have an option at ramen raisin or vanilla. I think it was just like whatever it is that they have, that's what you buy. And they would sell it to you, right? And if you ordered a cone, guys, y'all, life is rough. My life, you know, like this woman, I remember, like they would grab 1 scoop, and even then it would be like a measly scoop, all right? And they would put it on the surface of the cone, and when you got this ice cream, it was just so light. This cone was so light. It's like, come on, like give it a little bit of weight, man. Like give it a bit of girth. Let it drip out down the side a little. Like squeeze it in. Like there's so much, like, you know, the cone is like holy inside. Like there's lots of air in there. Like that's why it's holy. It's holy like that because you're supposed to squeeze the ice cream all the way down. You're supposed to push that spoon, like put the spoon and then squeeze it down, and then more scoop. Yeah, fill the ice cream up for like my 1 rand 50 for crying out loud. Nah, that woman would just put 1 little scoop on the surface and would just blom there, and that's all you got. So miserly. They were so stingy. So what we used to do as kids to savor the moment, we would grab this ice cream, and instead of licking it straight away, we would take our fingers and squeeze it all the way down so that we can really make it last. So we squeeze this ice cream all the way down until it's like pretty much flat on the surface of the cone, and then we would like nibble like little rabbits eating a carrot. We'd nibble on the corners, the periphery of the ice cream, just a little, you know, just to make sure that it really lasts, like just a nibble all the way around. And then you would just eating it, and then you would eat it like, and then the way that you would eat like the cone would be like slowly but surely until you get to that bottom part where you can't even get the ice cream to get to because it's like too narrow. Yeah, and then that one is the one that you just throw in your mouth all in one sitting, and when you swallow it, your eyes are closed. It's like the last taste of heaven before it's all dry again. It's like desert again, and you are not gonna get that ice cream for another 2 weeks, a week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, like a week, 2 weeks, because that's the only time that your grandmother gonna give you another 150 to buy ice cream. It was so stingy. They were so stingy. That's how that woman and the man, that couple, used to give us ice cream. But my grandmother was also like that. She had a little, if anything, it's still operational today, even though she's late. My uncle is keeping it a going concern. She used to sell my Kip Kip and Mazimba. That would be colored popcorn and little crisps, right? And well, she was unlicensed, however she used to sell beer type thing, and cool drinks like Coke, Fanta, Sprite, all that jazz, 7-Up back when it was still a thing, Miranda back when it was still a thing, nothing tastes like Fresca back when it was still a thing. My grandmother sold basically beverages as well as these snacks for kids. That's what she sold, and we used to help out with the whole packaging thing, like when my grandmother would make, you know, them, and she would teach us so as to lessen the workload on her. And so when she was basically scooping the mazimbas, right, to put them in the plastic packet, sometimes my cousins and I, my sisters, everybody, like basically the kids that were around, when we were like now tying these mazimbas in order to basically finishing the job, my grandmother would be like, whoa, M, like that's like, wait, that's too much. And then she would grab the package that we have prepared, the little packet that we prepared, and she would like squeeze it like this and pour out back into the big bowl some mazimbas, and then like shake it to bring it all the way down to the bottom. And then be like, this is the size, this is how much. So this is 20, well, how much was it? How did it started out being 10 cents, and then it was 20 cents, and then it became 50 cents. But last time I checked, it was 50 cents. Now it's probably like, I don't know, maybe still 50 cents, I don't know, a rand. I don't know what my uncle is selling that stuff for now today. But like, yeah, that's what's good. My grandmother made sure that those mazimbas, if we like even slightly went above, she would make us unravel the packets, spill them out, some of the contents, and then tie them again until we got the point. And on top of that, you best to not get busted eating any of the stock. Like, you best to not get busted while you are helping out, in and of yourself being like, So we used to like sneak a bite in. Unless, of course, she agreed to give us some. Mama, can we please have some? And then she would get tell us, go get a cup, go get this. We'd grab a cup in the kitchen, and then she would pour some out for us, and then we'd be able to eat type setup thing. She would spoil us maybe with like a packet of chips a day, even though it was her stock. It was our stock. It was the family stock. Anyway, that's the level of miserliness that was the case. The same situation was a thing with my keep as well. Like, we could not do more than a certain amount, and the kids that would come and purchase knew that they were getting the small little packet, just like the ice cream store down the ice cream house. Just a couple of footsteps down my grandmother's house. Just a small little amount of ice cream that you save up for a long time. So how it is that we used to deal with these tiny little bite sizes as kids is when we in the case of the mazimba, the crisps, right? You would literally take one, and instead of just chewing it, you would lick it. You would lick it like until it becomes mushy, like pumpkin, like potato pulp in your mouth, and then you would swallow it like that, and that's how you savored mazimba. That's how you savored these small little bite sizes all across the Kasi. Yeah, that was just the very beginning, the rudimentary stages of parental miserliness, of even just grown-up miserliness, like little small to medium enterprise miserliness, out here playing with the hearts of children, giving them small little portions of their biggest dreams, things that they've always wanted. Get a little bit older, we're now living with my mom. What is this, moved out of Kasi, out of my mom's house type thing, and now we're living in the burbs with our parents, and like stuff just never changed. It just never changed. The miserliness of parents towards kids, the tuck shop at school. Phew. My older sister had these friends that I became friends with when I was in grade 8 because I did drum majorates. And her girls were in drummies, right? These two girls that were her friends were in grade 11 with her. I was in grade 8 and my sister was in grade 11. She was 3 grades above me, right? She ended up going to study in Italy and whatnot, but there was like a very brief season when we were in the same high school together. So they knew me, these girls, as my older sister's younger sister. So they basically took me on, mother hen to protect me, take care of me, or whatever, in drummies. And these girls would make jokes, right? So because we became friends from drummies, we would then also had some kind of friendship during school hours instead of just at practice type establishment thing. And when we were broke, like super broke, like ain't nobody got dough, like ain't nobody got no money. Yeah, because our parents just pocket money was just so scant. It was dry, it was desert, there was always a tumbleweed running around. Miserly parenting. Like miserly parents, it's just out here giving you just, yeah. Anyway, I had a friend whose parents weren't miserly. There were kids that don't have these experiences. There's always the kids that are coming back to buy mazimba 10 times a day. They're the blessed kids, right? The rest of us, we are getting 1 packet of makip a day, and with ice cream you're getting 1 every fortnight. Most of us were on that tip. When I got to high school, same issue. Parents are just giving you pocket money that don't make no sense. Hot dogs are almost $10, R7.50. Chips, Simba chips, the Willards and whatnot, out here 350 going on $5. Goodness, too expensive for your little stupid R5.50 pocket money. And sometimes you would be famished, right? Intention was for you to pack your own lunch at home, but if you didn't, you can't expect to be having a 3-course meal at school. You're not gonna have a hot dog and a Coca-Cola and some crisps and a little chocolate at the same time, because the tuck shop prices are ridiculous. So there was this thing, there was in my school, they had essentially a budget a budget snack for kids with miserly parents. It was a Chelsea bun. It's like they decided that in the whole tuck shop, things can be really expensive here. But some kids, you know, really struggle at home and they don't have enough money and they're sometimes very hungry and didn't bring lunch to school. So we're gonna make it nice and cheap and it's gonna be really big. So they're gonna be full after lunch. The Chelsea bun, guys, was like the size of my head. The Chelsea bun was practically the size of my head, okay? The way that it was so big. Like, they don't make them like they used to make them back in the day. I have never seen Chelsea buns as big as the ones that were in my high school, and on top of that, they were heavies. Lots of dough, lots of icing, lots of cinnamon. These Chelsea buns were huge, and they cost only R2.50, and that was cheap even back then. Chelsea bun was R2.50. So my girls and I from Drummies used to call it, seeing as we needed sometimes to buy Chelsea buns to linger our satiatedness. Granted that Drummies practice was almost every single day, right? After school, sometimes even in the evenings, right? Because we had to practice like a lot. It was like a proper sports. I've explained my endeavors in Drummies, okay? So sometimes your lunch, by the time you're done eating your lunch, the first break of which was at like what, 11:30? 12, what, not 12, but like 11:30 in the morning, and now it's like you're gonna have Drummies practice until 5:30, and you didn't bring a second lunch. You need something that's going to fuel your body for Drummies practice. So we would basically bank Chelsea buns, and because it was a poor man's staple, it was for them kids that didn't have money. It was a budget meal, the cheapest one in the tuck shop. Yeah, we used to call it umswabi. We used to call Chelsea buns umswabisi. Alright, those of you that are not South African, to swaba is to basically be like, guys, if you know like English, man, English will mess you up. Like swabbering is, you know, like imagine a person that is just like beaten with poverty, like calloused face and everything, like lips are chapped, like everything is dry, hair is falling apart, they've got like no edges, their skin is pale, and it's this discoloration every so often you see a chubaba, and they just have like this poverty face, like a broken face, like a life sucks face. Like life is rough, like lips dry, and nobody's even trying to lick them, because what's the point? that is ukswaba. When you are swabified, it's like you're poor, man. It's like life is just drained out of you. You've been juiced, okay? When you how swabile, you have been juiced. Like when you have swabad, you have been juiced out of life. Like life has slapped you silly. So my girls and I from Drummies used to call the Chelsea bun because it was so big and it was so heavy, and it would feed you when you were poverty stricken because your mom only gave you 5 rand for the day. We would then stock up on Chelsea buns before drum measurements practice. And it was so delicious that when you ate it and you were hungry, you would be quiet the whole time. Until one day, it got given a name. And we decided to call it with a code name on some guys. I'm going to the tuck shop. Kapriki, please buy me 2 mswabisis. Please buy me 2 Chelsea buns. They used to fly off the shelves. They would get finished really quickly because kids loved them. They were delicious. It's a dessert. But it was super cheap. And we used to call it mswabisi because it swabified, like you eat it, it's like eating bread and milk. And that's all that you eat. No protein, nothing. You're just that wheat guy. Yeah, that's what's good, yeah. We used to call Chelsea bun mswabisi because it evidenced your poverty. It evidenced that you come from a hard knock life, you know? Might as well, like, in the middle of that mswabisi humming. Tula mama, like proper, like some kind of a dirgy song in the background, like Safa Sapelisis Wasimyama. While you're eating mswabisi, you could totally have that song playing in the background and it would fit. Wasafa, sis wasaba. That Chelsea bun, so the other day my mom bought a Chelsea bun from from Pick and Pay, and I picked it up. She gave me, like, she bought a Chelsea bun for herself and one for me. And I was like, curriculum swabisi, thank you. And she's like, why do you call it that? I explained the story to her, but like, I was like, this here is not a Chelsea bun, because you don't know a Chelsea bun like I know a Chelsea bun, but the heavy one, size of your head, that is there to curb hunger, because it's the only thing that you have to eat. And it's sweet, it's delicious, and when you're eating it, it's quiet, nobody talks, and you hear Safa, Safa, sees, we used to tease it, calling it swabisi, essentially something that just impoverishes you just because you're eating it. Yeah, and we would stock up on it for drum majorette practice. That whole thing, like you having to buy swabisi for lunch and for like late lunch, because you've got like practice after school, because you can't buy a hot dog, because you can't buy a burger, a chicken burger, because you can't buy crisps, you can't buy a chocolate, you can't buy a bar one, a Tempo. I don't even know why they discontinued Tempo, by the way. That was a travesty on the part of the South African population. I don't know about you guys, right? They discontinued it. I came to learn. It was like literally my favorite chocolate growing up. Anyway, whatever. So you can't buy a Tempo because it's too expensive. Like one Tempo is actually being R5.50. Like you can't. Okay, back then. Now I like it's probably bordering on like being almost 10 rands, right? 11 bucks. That's what's good. So that's what was happening like back then. Yeah, swabisi, the food of the poor child, because the parents insist on impoverishing the child. Miserly parents, miserly parents, right? That was high school. Yeah. When I was in high school as well, what is my mom was not, though. Like I would be like unfair. I would eat at my leisure, but one thing, like in the house, so whatever it is that there was a time when she used to work for Woolies, and it was when Woolies was starting out with food, y'all. Ooh, and like the desserts at Woolies. I have tasted some of the biggest and baddest desserts in the game because my mom worked for Woolies when it first started out with food, and I just never looked back ever since, right? But one thing that is true though is that when you are a kid growing up, like even when you're in high school, like this stuff just never stops. Even when you're in high school, you go to malls with your parents, all right, and you are like, can I have this, can I have that, can I have this? Even at the restaurant, like I used to love ordering dessert and my mom would just refuse. Like she would be like, we're here to eat, you are full, miss. We are at Panarotti's, have the pizza, have it at your leisure, eat as much as you want. You're at the Mike and Bean, have this, have that. But every so often she would allow the purchase of what do you call this? Every so often she would allow me to have a cheesecake. Like the first time I tasted cheesecake was at Mike and Bean. Ooh, guys, ooh. Like, ooh, I was like, what is this? Like, oh my goodness. It was just so delicious that my mom knew that it was just basically just bordering on the electric chair like type torture for her to say, no, I don't have money for cheesecake today. I don't have money for cheesecake. Yo, I used to love it. But because she knew that I loved it, she would every so often bring it home for me. Once every month, like once a month, once every second week. Once it was just like not enough. I've always had such a sweet tooth. Yeah, I always wanted to order dessert. At the McDonald's, I would always want to order a chocolate sundae with my meals. I wanted to have my meal and then later on just, relish a sundae, but it was always just have the meal and that's all that you get to get. That's all that you get to get. And I always found the McDonald's meals so delicious, but so small. Like when McDonald's first came on the market, I remember thinking, this stuff is so delicious, but why is it so small? Like the burgers are so tiny, so tiny. The fries are so little. Like you never feel like you are full when you're done with McDonald's. You always want just ever so slightly more. Like, yeah. But then your parents will treat you like you're Oliver. You want more. And they'll be like, Oliver, never before has a boy wanted more. Oliver. And you'll be feeling like, ooh, and then you hide because your parents feel like you're Oliver. My grandmother treated us like we were Oliver. The people that used to sell little icicles, little ice creams in the gussie treated all the children in the gussie like they were Oliver. Never before has a boy wanted more. When you're like, no, but that's not enough ice cream. Oliver, never before has a boy wanted more. So now you just like have to just take in your stride all of these rationed foods, all of these portioned foods, acting like it's a famine. Guashioko is ruminating these streets because people out here having a protein deficiency. Never mind with desserts that being a problem. There then was like a whole like food, like dinner plates. Y'all know how kids like have issues with vegetables, right? Yeah, we got issues with vegetables. We had issues with veggies. You have to really like shove them down some children's throats. That's what's good. Yeah. Hey, but then there'd be like so many of them on your plate. And never mind the veggies, right? Never mind the 7 colors, but the rice. Yo, the rice. The rice. The pop. They would put so much pop on your plate. So much rice. So much, like basically the starch component. They would put so much of it. And the sad and disquieting thing is they were stingy with the things that made it at least palatable, like something like swallowable, like, you know, is the stuff that made it easy to swallow, the stuff that made it easy to down, you know, like give me a little bit of water, you know, like to bring it down and then to let it dry. It was a whole thing everywhere, like weddings, funerals, mesebetsi events, rice. And pop is like this much on your plate. Even when you're a child. And then you would put like a little dollop of gravy. It's like, but I'm dry. Craving It's like they're sprinkling it like it's confetti. Have you ever seen a skepsel of a plate of pop when the gravy's finished? Fucking gaga. The pop is still here. And the plate where you've been trying to savor has created like a track mark, like an athletics track mark, where you've been running your pop through it to basically pick up the last little drabs of gravy, because there's no more gravy. It's just like there's literally track marks on your plate. You can see that you've literally driven the pop on the periphery to get to gravy. It's finished, but you're still trying to get. You're still trying to get to the gravy, but it's gone, dog. It's gone. But there's still this much pop, and the way they insist that we finish our food. It's like, what dog with that gravy? I'm only rice dry. There's no gravy, mama. There's no gravy. God, there's no gravy. How am I supposed to like just eat dry pop? Like Papa, they will put like your gravy on your pop would look like an island in the middle of the sea. It'll look like an island in the center of the Mediterranean. Yeah, you be thinking that you're going to Hawaii on your plate. That's what's good, because it's just like a dollop on top of a very, very big mountain of and you somehow have got to finish all your food. So what do? You eat like... You start with the periphery, right? You make sure you eat the dry stuff first and you down it with water. And then you save the best for last, like the center. No, the gravy waits, and yeah, you first eat the dry pop on the periphery, and then the last bit of your dinner is like, at least it has gravy. At least it has gravy, because you like I said, save the best for last. Unless of course you're the dude that's actually creating track marks with your pop because you finished your gravy first, right? Either way, you gotta finish it. Like, wait, Papa, yes, like it. I don't know how many like funerals and weddings I've been to where I've just been like, I had so much pop in my plate, and then the person would put like a little tiny drop of gravy, and I'd be like, I'm so dry. How am I supposed to down this? How's this gonna work? This year it is not okay. It's not okay. So that's the first thing, right? So gravy was like a rare commodity. It was proper, like a famine of gravy, right? But that was not where it ended. Then there was the famine of the actual meat, right? Goodness gracious. like chicken wing. They would put either a chicken wing or one little drumstick right next to that island of gravy in that like mountain or ocean of pap and or rice, right? Like alongside a whole bunch of vegetables, and then refused to give you juice. Like juice was also just like such a big fat delicacy that just was not given. It's like, you want juice, you get it once a day and you have to queue because we're doing sikso for like, it's like a happy time, happy hour. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. So drink, like literally eat your dinner with water, down your dinner with water. Or maybe you can go and make yourself tea. And y'all know ain't no kid like tea, ain't no kid like coffee, because they're not trying to give you oros. So first of all, you don't give me gravy, you don't give me oros, you give me a mountain of pap, and then you give me a chicken wing, and then all these vegetables that I don't like. What am I supposed to do with that? So what did children do? We fantasized. We fantasized about the day when we would pour as much gravy on our pap as we want, when we would have 3 pieces of chicken on our plates, when we would scoop ice cream out of an ice cream bowl and squeeze it all the way down the cone and savor it, not have to savor it because you've got more than enough. You fantasize about the day when you go to McDonald's and you buy yourself a burger with a sundae at the end, and because the burger is so small, you can ask them to add an extra patty and an extra layer of cheese. You fantasize about the day when you can purchase for yourself all the chocolates in the store, all the like delicacies, whatever, instead of having to settle for mswabisi, Chelsea bun. You fantasize about basically craving a hot dog and getting one. You like, that's what we used. You can't lie. You thoroughly cannot lie. You cannot lie that when you were a kid, you did not have these like hopes and dreams one day to essentially get at your grandmother for rationing your makip, rationing your mazimba. You want to get at the lady that sold ice creams who rationed how much ice cream you get. You wanted to have, like, I used to fantasize about a pantry in my kitchen that had all the biscuits that I wanted under heaven. I used to fantasize about a pantry that had all the cheesecake that I wanted under heaven because I loved cheesecake. I used to I used to fantasize about the day that I'm making my own money and then my diet was going to be anything I wanted at all. When I was a kid, all the way from the time I was just a toddler up to my teenage years, even in varsity, I used to fantasize about being able to eat whatever I want because I'm buying it. I used to fantasize about the day when I would have as many snacks in my pantry as I wanted. It's very frustrating growing up amidst such miserly elderly people. And it looks as if though they're all of our parents, aren't they? All of our mothers, all of our fathers, all of our uncles, all of our grandfathers, and all of our next door neighbor aunties that sell ice cream have always just been miserly towards children, and their miserliness, we always used to target it with our future aspirations to one day buy our own ice cream. Is that basic? One day, like basically slather your malva pudding with as much ice cream as you want, instead of just one tiny little like raisin sized scoop that is barely recognizable even under a microscope. Yeah. You dream about the day when you will buy a whole full cheesecake, never mind just one slice from Mug and Bean that you get once every month. When you're a child, you fantasize about stuff like that. And that's not just with food, right? That's not just with food. It's with other things too. Like you go to the Edgar's and you're like, Ma, I like this jacket. Ma, I like this skirt. Ma, please buy me those stockings. I like them because they've got Hello Kitty pattern on them. Ma, please buy me those jelly babies. Ma, I want Dr. Martens. Ma, I want this, I want that. And she's like, I cannot chalete. That means I don't have money. They just never have money, do they? Everybody just, they never got no money. So you could never wear the fashion you wanted to wear as a kid. You could never eat the food you wanted to eat as a kid. You basically just took what you were given. If you were the only kid that didn't have Dr. Martens, you were the only kid that didn't have Dr. Martens. If you were the only kid that didn't have itelela, you know, like what do they call it? Like a dangari. What do they call that delela now? You know, those like, yeah, what do they call it? Whatever. I don't know what a delela is in English. Y'all will give me the word for it. Type setup thing. If you're the only one that didn't have it, you didn't have it. Yeah, you were the only one that didn't have it. There was a time when jelly babies were like super popular. Jelly babies, of which are like these shoes that were made from plastic among little girls. If you're the only one in your school that didn't have them, you didn't have them, you didn't have them, you didn't have them. Because your mom said that she doesn't have the money. And if you were the only one on Civi's Day that was not wearing a top with a big fat chunky Hello Kitty like sticker on it, girl, you're the only one. So what? Like, if you're the only one that did not, oh, there was also another problem with like TV, right? There was the kids who had open time only, and then there were the kids who had Mnet all day, every day. Yeah, before the days of DSTV. That's what's good. Yeah, so when you didn't have Mnet all day, every day, you had to just keep on listening to your friends at school speaking about KTV, talk about it, KTV, sing about it, KTV, meh. And you were the only one that didn't know anything about KTV because you out here rolling around in your TV only. You that girl. That was me. Before my mom got like, you know, Bouquet, DSTV and all that jazz. I was the only one that didn't know KTV, talk about it, KTV. Hibatung. And I just would listen to them speak and act like I'm cool because, please, it's Kitty's program. Bigger than that, me. Bigger than that. I'm bigger than that. Yeah. So, I mean, I used to fantasize about the day when I would have a full bouquet, when I would have, never mind open time, but just Mnet altogether. I would buy my own Mnet. I would buy, yeah. When I liked stuff and I felt like my mother was miserly, my grandmother, anybody, just these adults around, yeah, I would always fantasize about getting it for myself. There was a time when I wanted Levi's jeans like no man's business because everybody had a 507 or whatever. I didn't get it. I never proper got it. I never ever in my life got a Levi's jean even though I wanted one. Yeah, type setup thing. And then when I started working when I was at varsity, I deliberately went to Eastgate to apply for a casual job at the Levi's there because I could not get the job at Sandton. I didn't get it at basically nearer stores, nearer malls. And I went all the way to Eastgate and I got the job, but it didn't last because of the fact that it was just too far from home. Because if I had stayed there, at some point I would have been able to afford my first 507. I would have been maybe even given one as a staff member because of the fact that I worked there, type setup thing, as a casual in varsity. It didn't last. Yeah, told myself that one day I'm gonna buy myself all the Levi's jeans under heaven that I want. I'm gonna buy myself all the what do you call this? All the diesel jeans. You know, they were like super ridiculously expensive. Still to this day, I think diesel is still like a violent brand when it comes to pricing. Yeah, I used to have these fantasies, these like big fat chunky fantasies to have so much money one day that I'm gonna buy my own jeans. That instead of me working for Levi's, I'm going to be coming here as a customer. There was a time when I used to work for Guess in Sandton, right? Guess by Margiano. Guess, you know, Guess the retail brand. And sometimes I used to get so annoyed with customers that were super duper rude, like Sandton snobs out of here, like from here to Timbuktu. And when a customer had been like super rude, treating me like the scum of the earth, very condescending, I'd be like, one day I'm gonna have so much money that I'm going to be the one buying this whole store, closing it up when I walk in, okay? Don't treat me like this because I'm just a student type thing. But of course, I would say that in my heart and in my mind. I wouldn't really voice it to the customer. Similarly too, when I used to work for Joe Bockett also in Sandton, and I was like, customers would be rude. Like these very polished, exceptionally wealthy white women would often come in there and be very extremely condescending towards some of the staff there. And I'd be like, one day I'm gonna be you. One day I'm gonna be you. Yeah. Essentially, when you have so much lack because you're in this like moneyless state where you're being given, I mean, Joe Pocket was even better. There, we used to get 15 rand an hour. I guess it was 12 rand 50. At Levi's, it was like about 12 rand as well. Type setup thing. Yeah, it's nothing an hour when even then you are working just weekends because during the week you're at school, at university. That was not even nearly enough to buy you even like a decent lunch at school during the week. That money was just like you just worked at what is this at Guess because you wanted to be popular among your friends because you work at a designer store, that's it. Like, but really in terms of money you would have made a lot more as a waiter or a waitress, but that wasn't cool according to me, so I chose to work at Guess type establishment thing. Yeah, whatever. I could not afford the life that I wanted and I was frustrated by the limitedness as a child that I had as a kid, the limitedness of university life without my own job, and all I could do in that space was fantasize. I fantasized about having more gravy on my plate than just a little dollop on top of an island. Do you understand? I always used to fantasize about more ice cream. I used to fantasize about more mazimba, my keep, more Coca-Cola in my glass. Cause you know how they would pour like a quarter in this? Like, what are you doing? Just fill it up to the brim. What are you doing? Yeah, I used to fantasize about one day buying my own everything, always getting dessert at the restaurant every single time I eat out. I always used to fantasize. And one day I walked in my fulfilled fantasies. One day I walked in my fulfilled fantasies. I basically walked in a dream come true. I got a career. I got a career. You can go and ask my ex-boyfriend, right? Every single time we would go to McDonald's, what did I order? If at all he remembers his ex, and if at all he's honest with himself and stops being so bitter all the time like a little psycho witch, what would be his answer be? What did Karabo order every time she went to McDonald's? Number 7, with extra patty, extra cheese, and a chocolate sundae for dessert, with a flake of chocolate in it, like a flake. Yeah, what's about flaky? Yeah, that was like my default. It was what I used to always order. I got him into it too. He would order a quarter pounder deluxe, and he would also ask for extra patty, extra cheese, because that's what I was doing. Essentially, we came into consensus agreement that McDonald's burgers are small, they are tiny, they don't feed anybody's stomach, unless of course you add extra patty, extra cheese. For the grilled chicken fold over, I would add cheese, because why doesn't it have cheese? Like, don't nobody know why that fold over doesn't have cheese? Like, why does anything not have cheese in it? Like, who does not have cheese in burgers? Anyway, so my orders at McDonald's became what it is that I've always wanted. Whenever I was with my mom, I would order just the Cajun meal. Number 7 is the Cajun meal. I would order just the Cajun meal, and if I begged and groveled, maybe she might give me the sundae. She might allow me to buy the sundae, and I was frustrated by the fact that I couldn't have the sundae every single time I wanted the sundae. And then I got older, I got a career, I got my own money, and now I was ordering number 7 with extra patty, extra cheese, with a chocolate sundae, a hot fudge sundae, that's what I used to call it, alongside a flake in it. So basically just extra. For all that stuff, I didn't care to pay extra, because it was my party, and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Blah, 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 blah. It was my meal. It was my money. It was my money. I was buying my own McDonald's burger, and I finally was ordering the right portions for grown human beings, because who in the world eats such a tiny burger and is satiated? Who? What is going on there? And of course, then I would get, like, certain size fries. I didn't like too much of their drink, so it would always remain medium, but I got bigger fries, and I got that for a meal, and that's what I ate. Like, I've got a healthy appetite. I still do to this day. I've never been a small eater, so really and truly, I could never be with a man that doesn't eat a lot, because I would feel uncomfortable. He would have to be a gimba just like me. I am a gimba, like, in the worst way, and I've been one since I was a child. I was a skinny little kid that could eat anything and everything, and all the food went where we don't know. But I've always been a big eater, like everybody knows it. So it was extremely frustrating for me to have to deal with all of this miserly activity. It was just very, very frustrating as a kid, and so all I could do was fantasize. All I could do was fantasize about the day when I wouldn't have to order MSWABC, because goodness gracious, what is going on? So the things then that were my favorites ever since I was a kid, like I've always slathered mayonnaise on my food. Like that was always a thing. Like, oh, everything. Mayonnaise is in everything. Like I put it in everything. I like everything. You know that Aromet advert? Arrow eggs, arrow mealy, arrow rice. You shake up the taste with this taste of Aromet. With me, it wasn't Aromet. It was mayo rice. Mayo mealy. You shake up the taste with the taste of mayonnaise. And it didn't even matter what kind of mayonnaise it was, as long as it was mayonnaise. And then they introduced Miracle Whip to South Africa. I was like, what? Fell in love with Miracle Whip. It was super expensive. However, my mom would every so often spoil me with it, but it just was not coming fast enough. So I was like, one day I'm going to always have Miracle Whip in my pantry every single grocery shopping cycle. And when it runs out, all it's going to take is for me having no Miracle Whip on my plate. To get out properly in the wee hours of the morning, even going to a 7-Eleven that has got inflated prices because of the fact that it closes at 11 p.m. at night, and buy it there, because who survives without Miracle Whip? That's my life. So constant mayonnaise availability has been ripped from underneath my feet like a carpet. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when I was working at MTN, I used to eat a dessert every single day, like without fail. I told you, I've always been slender, so food just went in one hole and out the next, like out the other. Like I never really gain weight, except for the time when I was with my ex, because of the fact that I was on the pill. The Diane 35 blew me up. It made me fat. Well, not fat. I got slightly bigger than what I was used to being. But as soon as I got off the pill, the weight came down again. So that's something that's been working out for me. Therefore, I've been able all throughout my life to just eat whatever under heaven I wanted to eat. And, you know, the restrictions, therefore, I found them heinous. I found them incredibly heinous. They were just an abomination, a travesty, something that ought to have been eradicated in these streets, because really and truly let me eat, and I couldn't eat as much as I wanted. On top of that, I loved fashion. I love fashion. So I wanted to be able to walk into a store instead of being like, Ma, please buy me those sneakers. I would just get them. Please buy me those shoes. I would just get them. And I got a career. And so therefore I was always with mayonnaise in the pantry. And like I said, when I was working at MTN, I used to have a dessert every single day. They used to sell this carrot cake there. It was really quite spectacular. The one from work, the one that they had at the coffee shop was beautiful. Like nobody compared, not even Woolies could come close to their carrot cake. And I used to share it with this one colleague of mine that also used to like it. So we would buy this like big fat chunky slice of carrot cake, chop it in half and share it, the two of us. I used to have that almost every single time when they had it. Whenever they had it, I would certainly purchase it. But if at all it was not available in the coffee shop at work, I would then go to Woolies and buy not so much their carrot cake, but their chocolate cake. You get, like my mom, there was always dessert at home because of me. When I would run out that chocolate cake, I would go to the Woolies and buy another one. And another one. I could afford to. Even though my mom was like, Karabo, you're gonna make me fat. I was like, you don't have to eat it. You don't have to touch it. I'm eating it. Like, deal. You know what I mean? Because it was a time when I had moved back home, type establishment thing, because in order to pay off my debt, I told you guys that I was living by myself and then I moved back home. Yeah, and when I was back home, my mom would be like, yo, you're gonna make me fat, because I used to buy dessert every 2 to 3 days. When it would run out, as soon as it would run out, I would buy another one, and another one, another one, another one, because I had to have something sweet after dinner. I told you guys that my coffee is syrupy, because I've got a sweet tooth. And that is the only way that I supplement that sweet tooth, because I don't have as much pastries as I as I used to in my diet anymore, because I am poor. I used to love chocolate cake and carrot cake, alright? I used to adore when McDonald's brought their, what do you call this? They introduced a, what do they call this? Like a baibizang. Oh, I keep forgetting the name for it. Anyway, whatever. They brought like a confectionery space in, and they started selling donuts. Their donuts were surprisingly delicious, but it was not every McDonald's that had them. I think they were experimenting with them, and only at certain branches. And where I used to stay in Four Ways, their McDonald's used to sell them, and then moving back to Rediport, like all the McDonald's this side don't sell their donuts. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know if they still sell donuts, but their donuts were just like surprisingly just absolutely delicious. You know, you would expect that because McDonald's, that's not their main, like, what is this, like, core competency, that they would sort of kind of fall off the ball, but they were so good. They near, like, proper, were on more or less the same sort of kind of plane as, is it Krispy Kreme or whatnot? Their donuts were that delicious, and so I started to become just wonderfully fascinated with those donuts to a point of every single time I ordered a meal at McDonald's, instead of getting the chocolate sundae, I would then get the donuts type setup thing. That's the thing. I've always had a thing about dessert, and I've got like a sweet tooth from here to Timbuktu. It's the reason why I brush my teeth so many times a day, so I don't get ridiculous cavities and what have you, because I have a sweet tooth. Every time after I drink coffee or sugar, sorry, not or tea. I wanted to say tea. I barely drink tea, but it's largely coffee. I always brush my teeth so my teeth don't change color, and so I don't get like cavities and what have you, because my tea is sweet. It is syrupy, and my coffee has gotten as syrupy as it has over these years, precisely because of the robbery from my person of other things. My boss used to be very judgmental over how much sugar I would put in my coffee at work, and even then it was nothing in comparison to what I take today. Like now I've got like proper 7, sometimes even 7.5 teaspoons, heaped ones of sugar in my coffee. I might as well just grab a spoon of sugar and just put it in my mouth. Some people are probably wincing at this point, but that's just the way that my life has been. It's the way that I am. And this here is not even a health segment. I'm just trying to help you understand the travesty to the South African economy that all this witchcraft is doing, right? I had a sweet tooth. I loved cheesecake. So I would have, like, Woolies has lost my money. Mug and Bean has lost my money. My favorite chocolate, I love chocolate. That's also another thing. I used to always have chocolate. No, not always. Well, for me it was like chocolate cake. But if at all, you know, if all else fails, then just have a slab. My slab of note was always whole nut Or Tempo. Used to love Tempo. I told you they discontinued it, and when they did, I was like, what was going on here? Like, what's happening? That was the biggest travesty on the South African market. I don't understand. Like, why do people stop buying Tempo? Somebody explain to me. You should have gotten rid of, like, I don't know, like, I could say there are other chocolates that just like PS. You could have gotten rid of PS. You could have totally gotten rid of PS and kept Tempo, right? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. Anyway, Tex. I used to love Tex. Tempo, Bar One. And then Whole Nut for a Slab type establishment thing. Massive fan of Woolies desserts. Goodness, like, they have these custard danishes that were totally like murderous. Also, these caramel and custard danishes, murderous, absolutely murderous. Their chocolate cake was homicidal in the worst way. Their what is this? Woolies though, like Woolworths will show you flames, dog. Like, you get my point. Like, Woolies desserts, don't nobody move, okay? Mug and Bean has the baddest cheesecake in the game. I don't know if that's still a thing, type establishment thing. Like, nobody else has ever compared, at least in my own eyes. Mayonnaise, Miracle Whip. Problem with not having Miracle Whip or any brand of mayonnaise at all, it doesn't matter, Nola or Salanite, I could say it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care insofar as it's not like light or whatever. Coca-Cola, like, don't nobody move. Like, don't come at me with Sprite or Fanta. Coke, yeah. Why in the world don't I have Coke just lying around? Cranberry juice, that's why my name is Cranberry. 100% cranberry juice. I had a fascination with the fruit that is cranberry and the drink therefore. So therefore there would always be some kind of cranberry juice in my refrigerator. Largely the liquid fruit one was my favorite type establishment thing. Why don't I have cranberry juice just lying around? Why is my name Cranberry K and I don't have cranberries or cranberry juice just sitting around all up in my grill? Do not understand that. Do not understand the living daylights out of any of that. I was also a skincare like experimenter for days. Don't let me go to Discam without planning on a list what to buy, because I will walk out of there having experimented with all different kinds of things. I've always loved growing hair, so I would buy like hair supplements. I would take them for like 5 days and forget and stop and what have you, and they would just gather dust in my bag type establishment thing. But those are things that boost the economy. Whether or not I go back and buy a second bottle is irrelevant. It has pushed along that brand, that entrepreneur, that business. It has pushed along that agenda. And then things that I wanted, like I told you guys that I used to love fashion. I could like dress my body. I knew how to look for a bargain, but I also knew how to shop well, especially when it came to shoes. Guys, like y'all, you have robbed Socrati and Europa Art and Woolies, Trenery. You have robbed Jenny Button. I don't even know if they're still existing or whatnot of me. You've taken me away from designer stores in this country. You have robbed. I used to love Stone, not Stoned Cherry. What is this? But Blue. Big Blue. I used to love stuff that was there. What is this? Young Designers Emporium. But there was also another. What was that other one? That one store in. It was in Rosebank, but it was also in Clear, Watermore, etc. Whatever. Yeah, clothing. I used to love clothing. And then when it comes to ornaments as well for the house, furniture, I would just walk into just anything. Mr. Price Home, At Home, Boardman's. I think that's been discontinued as well. Weatherly's. I would walk anywhere and anything that I found cute, I would purchase at Crafters Market. They used to sell a whole bunch of Christian paraphernalia there. I would buy all different kinds of things. I mean, my refrigerator in my apartment, there was this, like, I bought these little letters from Crafters Market that were spelled Yahushua HaMashiach, and they were fridge I made them into fridge magnet, because Crafters Market, you can make things there like that. You buy letters, you buy glue, you buy fridge magnet tape, like a magnet sheet, you cut it up, you stick it on there, and then you basically put them on your refrigerator. So making your own fridge magnets. I made my own fridge magnets. So Crafters Market is like a YDE, but for crafty people that sell their things through that store and then get a commission. Do you know what I'm saying? Or give the store a commission while they get the bulk of the cash. And yeah, so I was supporting upcoming small to medium enterprises in this country by shopping a whole bunch at Crafters Market. I was an active participant in the South African economy. My parents, like adults on the come up, were miserly towards me and other children. And just like me and other children, we all aspired to one day just really overcome these miserly people's miserly ways by buying our own everything. And I got to walk in my dream come true, just like some of you, many of you. You got to buy yourself all the chocolates that your mama withheld from you when you were 7. out here throwing a fit in the mall. You got to buy more ice cream than the lady from down the road that sells ice cream put in your cone, because you now could afford to. You got to make sure that if you craved a Wawendla's a beacon bite, riba. When you were craving beacon bites, you just walked into the store and bought beacon bites. You might be a miserly parent to your kids too, because I think it helps to be that miserly for kids. It helps them develop a sense of ambition that they might one day acquire much of what it is that you're withholding from them. But still, at the end of the day, what you like, you get for yourself, don't you? What you like, you get for yourself, don't you? Even though you've got double standards where your kids are concerned, bottom line is you got to walk in a dream come true. No longer do you have a small little dollop of gravy on your pap. Now it's the gravy is more like an ocean on your pap, with the pap being like a little stone against which the water is just gushing. Yeah, that's what's good. Now you've got so much gravy that's what you are cleaning out in the sink. Because no more are you ever going to eat that dry pap you're at a funeral of some dude you don't know because you're accompanying a friend. That's what's good. And they give you more rice than you've ever seen in your life, like a whole mountain of it. No more is that you. No more is that you. No more are you withholding from yourself your own dessert at McDonald's. You don't get your own ice cream sundae, your own chocolate sundae. Because for what? Unless of course you are on a diet and you're trying to restrict your caloric intake or what have you. But otherwise, you know what it was like to be under these parents of ours. And what it was like to finally get your first paycheck and finally buy your first meal for yourself with no restrictions, with your extra patty, your extra cheese, with your milkshake, with your everything, and to afterwards drive past the garage and still buy a chocolate, some Smarties, and some Mazimbas, and a Coca-Cola, and a Red Bull, and like, you get my point, whatever it is that you can get, a small, like even a pie at the garage, and then go home and not touch those things for 4 days. But one day when you're craving it while watching something on a Netflix that you never used to have because you were like me back in the day, remember, open time only, no Mnet. Oh, no full-time Mnet. You are there just from 5 to 7. After that, dololo, it just blank screen. That's what's good. Yeah, now you've got Netflix. Now you've got a streaming platform yourself. That's what's good because you're paying it for yourself. Now you get to sing KTV, sing about it, KTV, talk about it, because you understand what everybody is talking about. Everybody that's out here talking about KTV, you now finally get it. You don't know what I'm talking about. You were stranded. Like, I know Galubi is a dragon, a very friendly dragon. My name is Galubi and I'd like to be your friend. Didn't even know who Galubi was. But I know that song because my girls used to sing it. Why? Because it was not available for airing anyway, but on DSTV. All I knew was, not Galubi. Sorry, Galubi was available on YoTV. My correction, I wanted to say, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me to Bunny? Yeah, that dude was on Mnet only, and I never had access to him. And my girls, I love you. What are you talking about? I don't know. I finally got Mnet. Because I could afford my own DSTV. I could afford my own DSTV. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you wrenched me out of the South African economy and said no more. Like, somebody gotta put a stop to all of y'all. Like, I'm just saying, somebody gotta put a dead break on that. Like, why must I go back to the days of Umswabisi? Why must I go buy an Umswabisi? Why must I go back to Chelsea Ban? Can we have a discussion? Because mama out here being miserly. You don't have much. There's nothing. I had a dream where I was told that I am partially blocked. Like, which is saying that I'm partially blocked. Only segments of my life are moving forward, but there are others that are frozen because they think they've put me in a position to be partially blocked. The partial blockage of which is apparently based on the fact that nobody watches my long form content, but whenever I upload shows, I gain subscribers. So they're calling me partially blocked. Yeah, you out here making sure that I only got open time. Is that good? Is that what we're doing? You out here making sure that I'm the only kid in the school that doesn't have Dr. Martens. I'm the only kid in the school that doesn't have jelly babies. I'm the only kid in the school that does not have a hot dog for lunch, but she gotta eat Swabisi. I have to eat Swabisi, me. Yeah? I gotta eat Swabisi now. I gotta like eat stuff that I hide in a bag because like, yo, it's embarrassing. You're making sure that I'm the only kid in the school that out here has a dollop of gravy on an island of pap. Is that what we're doing? Like an island of gravy, sorry, on an ocean of pap. Ocean of rice. I'm the only child that's out here still getting that ice cream that you nibble on the cone after squeezing it all the way to the bottom of the cone. To savor it because, hey, the lady who sells the ice cream, man, ish. Why you gotta be so miserly? Yeah, because I can't buy my own tub of rum and raisin ice cream. I can't buy my own tub of peppermint crisp ice cream. Like, actually, I can't do any of that. I can't do, like, proper. Guys, you took my mayonnaise away from my, like, these, in my mom's house, when mayo's finished, I gotta wait until the next month. That was never a thing with me. There was like revolving credit on my mayonnaise. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, the moment I made an observation that, hey, guys, it's looking canyonic in this, like, tub, I can hear an echo when I speak into it, I would get a new tub so that by the time this, like, the last dollop of this tub, when it's out, I'm out here fetching dollop number 1 from the new tub. I never used to run out of anything that I loved. I always had Miracle Whip. I always had mayonnaise. I always had carrot cake or cheesecake in the pantry, in the scullery. I always had the stuff that I liked. And if I felt like takeaway, and another thing that, guys, y'all, like, it's problematic that I have not had gelatin. Thank you, gelatin. That's the word that I was looking for, that McDonald's started a gelatin section. Yeah, it is absolutely excruciatingly problematic that I have not had a red velvet, a blue velvet, or black velvet cupcake from Endicho in years. What in the world are you doing to me? The fact that I have not had a Ferrero Rocher cupcake from Endicho in a year. What are you doing to me? What have you guys done to me? I used to stay in Four Ways. I used to drive by Endicho almost every night. I told you guys that I always had dessert in the evenings. When I was living at my mom's house, it became Woolies because there was no Endicho nearby. The nearest one was that one in Cresta. It was too far. But when I lived in Four Ways, it was right on my way home. The one there by that square, by that center, opposite Danefern Square. Yeah, there was an Endicho there. I don't know if it's still there. So I would drive there almost every second night because I would buy like a 4-pack of cupcakes. Have one an evening, essentially. And when they were finished, I would drive back there again. Yeah, either a Ferrero Rocher cupcake or a red velvet or a black or a blue, like proper. I used to love the cupcakes at Endicho, and the fact that I have not had a cupcake from Endicho in years. What are you doing to me? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Guys, what are you doing? You are dastardly. You are disturbing and awkward and nasty. And you have destroyed the South African economy. You have taken away people from Endicho. They don't even know it. One day they're going to wake up, open their eyes and realize that, oh snap, a quarter wheat for a denarius. Do not harm the oil and the wine. Because Karabo stopped being able to buy our Ferrero Rocher cupcakes. One day. You have snatched me from the economy. Do you understand? I'm no longer buying La Beacon Bites. I am no longer buying. My favorite crisps were not even so much Beacon Bites. I used to like them too, but it's not, Willard's, it's not sour cream and chives. I would know them when I see them in the yellow packet. Gone, nje, off the market. No more support for Willard's. No more support for Simbanje. Just gone. That was no longer picking items off the FMCG shelves of South Africa. She's no longer walking into Endicho out here. Oh goodness, Endicho not only had my support with their gelatin section, but also I used to love their pizza because it was designer, and it used to be very expensive. The pizza that I would buy at Endicho, because I always used to add so many ingredients. I used to add salmon and cream cheese and all these things. There was a time when I bought a pizza for $250 at Endicho. I could not believe that it was that much, but I didn't care because I wanted to eat that. That was my dinner, and I was going to have a $250 pizza because I could. And Endicho has lost that opulent customer. It's lost that opulent customer. Do you see the ripple effects? You have stolen me from the South African economy. You have stolen a successful person, a case of prosperity, a case of a child that has a dream that got fulfilled. My ambitions were met. Do you understand? I finally got everything I wanted. I shopped for all the shoes under heaven I wanted. I shopped for all the dresses under heaven I wanted. I got all the hair that I wanted. Body butter from Body Shop, their little body shimmer spray, and what have you. Perfume, Chanel has lost a customer. My favorite perfume was Chanel Allure Eau de Parfum, not the toilette. Yeah, Chanel has lost a customer. Without her really wanting to. I mean, it's not like I like smelling bland, like mom spray deodorant, which is not what it is that I would have purchased for myself. I'm just using what my mom uses. I don't like smelling so bland. I would much rather have a scent. A Body Shop has lost a customer that loved their body butters for the scent. I was a combination, an amalgamation of scents. Do you understand? I used to smell like strawberry or tangerine or cocoa or whatever it is that might be the body butter that I'm using alongside my Chanel Allure perfume, alongside the body shimmer that I used to put on my body. I used to smell heavenly. That's what I'm getting at. Now I just smell clean, you know? I can get my wifey at least. My underarms don't stank at least. Yeah, that's all that there is now. But in terms of just a woman adorning herself, dream on. Body Shop has also lost somebody buying mascara once, and eyeliner, and also liquid eyeliner. That's what I used to buy. They've lost somebody purchasing lipstick. That's what's good. This Kim has lost a person experimenting with all different kinds of supplements and clicks. Like, yeah, y'all, do you understand the implications of what you do with your sorcery? You literally carve holes into an economy. You carve entire chunky holes. That's what you do. People have lost, like, you know, chicken purchases. Because I have a thing about chicken. Yeah. Like, you've taken me away from the South African economy. And you think that this is something that you're going to get to survive. You call me an individual that's been partially blocked over God's dead body. And seeing as he is God, he lives forever. I guess it's your dead body that we're dealing with at this point. I suspect you're bringing about the tribulation. Literally, go read the seal judgments. A quart of wheat for a denarius. Do not harm the oil and the wine. You are bringing about a famine into your own lands. You are bringing an economic collapse to your own countries. That's exactly what you're doing. Because you've taken a young girl growing up in Soweto, a young girl growing up in these streets of South Africa, out here parched of cheesecake, that finally got to buy cheesecake that you ripped out of the market and basically robbed mug and bean of a cheesecake purchaser. So a quarter wheat for a denarius. I want the actual terminology before I sign out. In Revelation 6, the horseman of the apocalypse with the scales in his hands, out here representing famine. Let's go on read Revelation 6. When he opened the third seal, thank you, that's the one. Revelation 6:5. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come." And I looked, and behold, a black horse. And its rider had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard what seemed to be a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, a quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine. Because you done taken Karabo back all the way to 1994 or something. Out here buying ice cream, a small little tiny scoop, in a canyonic cone that I have to savor for like 10 years before I finally swallow the last bit at the bottom that has no ice cream at the bottom. This is what you've done to your country. So, I mean, judgment is all up in your grill, is it not? How about you purchase a quart of wheat for a denarius? A quart of wheat, how much? A quart of wheat for a denarius, 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine. You've ruined your own economies. Little by little, you've just chipped away at them, unbeknownst to yourselves. That's what you did. Just like, ninja fella. You completely kicked like a soccer ball out into the center of the ocean, your own nation's economies, and all this is going to culminate in the tribulation. It's going to culminate in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse riding out, galloping to ransack your countries because you saw it fit to rob Woolies of somebody out here purchasing some chocolate cake. I used to love these seed bars from Woolies as well. They are the ones with pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds and pumpkin, sesame, sunflower seeds, like, you know, that delicious seed bar. I used to buy like a whole bunch of them, just put them in my bag and eat them as snacks when I was in the office. Woolies, I mean, has 1 less person buying those seed bars. Is that basic? 1 less person. Miracle Whip is no longer gated, like being taken off the shelves of Pick and Pay because God, not as much, because God was no longer in the economy. You've ripped me out of the economy, so go buy a quart of wheat for a denarius. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you've heard me. I'm signing on in the name of Lord Jesus Christ, Cran K. Peace.